Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler. If there's one thing we've learned when filming Wild Kingdom, it's that nature can be harsh. Not all animals are strong and healthy enough to survive. In tonight's episode, we'll explore the relationship between predator and prey. Each plays an important role in keeping animal populations in check. The old and the sickly animals are naturally weeded out, leaving the strong and the healthy to produce the next generation. In fact, predators are only successful about 50% of their attempts to catch food. This reality can seem harsh, but it's absolutely necessary to create that delicate yet natural balance of the animals in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. The most priceless commodity of the desert is water. Of course, all animals require moisture to survive, but those living in arid regions obtain it in unusual ways. Some, like this desert tortoise, get moisture entirely from the plants they eat. Others, desert rodents, for example, get it from both plants and animal prey. But the birds and larger mammals must have water. Therefore, those rare areas where there are little pools or rivulets become oases for wildlife. Trails made by animals converge on such places, resulting in many interesting animal encounters. In the Sonora Desert of Arizona, where the giant saguaro cactus grows, there is a place like this. A great many wild creatures meet unexpectedly there, along the trails of Saguaro Springs.
Day comes quietly to the stark Sonora Desert. The hostile environment seems lifeless, yet wildlife abounds here. At home among the bristling spines, a cactus wren has chosen her nesting site wisely. Most enemies will avoid the fearsome cholla cactus. There is one dreaded foe who moves with great ease among the needles. The red racer has sensed the presence of the fledglings with his flicking tongue, but the nest is so well disguised with cholla spines that he fails to recognize it for what it is. His vision is limited, and only if he sees a fledgling move will the baby birds be doomed. Particles of scent in the air from the fledglings are so heavy this close to the nest that the snake becomes confused. Furthermore, he is distracted by the mother's movements. The snake detects something on the ground below, a pack rat, breakfasting on a juicy cactus leaf. The prickly pear cactus is both food and moisture for him, since he rarely drinks water. His large, sensitive ears can detect the faintest of sounds that an approaching predator might make. Still angry, though the snake is gone, The mother wren is convinced that the danger to her babies is past. She's not concerned about the hawk which flies past and alights some distance away. The red-tailed hawk knows that many slower animals that she preys upon follow trails leading to the little pools of Saguaro Springs at the arroyo's upper end. The cougar also prowls these trails, but not only to hunt her prey. In this sun-baked terrain, Saguaro Springs is the only place for many miles where she can find the water she needs for her very survival. While here, she jealously claims these pools. A younger cougar, also in need of water, has come close before suddenly realizing he has been too intent on the trail and not careful enough about what's at the pool. Territorial rights becomes the issue. The younger cougar must keep his distance. He won't be allowed to drink at the spring until later. Not yet ready to begin hunting, the red-tail studies her surroundings, paying little attention for now to the banded sand snake sliding across the loose sand in a depression of the rocky desert floor. A vibration makes the snake pause. But it's only the mid-morning pit-digging activities of an antlion preparing his cunning trap. The pit is built with steep, loose sides. Any ant passing too closely will slide in and be snatched by the massive jaws of the hidden antlion. There is no escape for the ant. It now becomes food and moisture for the antlion. Though midday is rapidly nearing, the hawk is not yet ready to hunt. Instead, she heads for the other end of the arroyo, where she has a favorite perch. The sand snake is not alarmed, nor is a nearby fringe-toed lizard. In these little pockets of pure, fine sand which dot the Sonora Desert, hiding places are few. Therefore, the lizard and sand snake have a special defense they use whenever a hungry hawk flies over. The hawk will have to wait for less elusive prey. And nearby, the female cougar, having quenched her thirst, will now let other creatures come to Saguaro Springs.
Of all the desert water drinkers, the red-tailed hawk probably gets the best view of what occurs around Saguaro Springs.
In the heat of the day at Saguaro Springs, the need for water has brought the young cougar back. He finds a bobcat has come to the pools to drink. There is a faint sound which alerts him. but it's only a roving scorpion. The female scorpion stays in this spring area to hunt the insects which come. Also hunting insects here, like the scorpion, is a small grasshopper mouse, a rodent who will also eat scorpions. However, a scorpion sting will kill a mouse. From the body of the scorpion, the mouse will derive much moisture. He hides it now to eat later. Unaware until now that his activities have been watched, the mouse sees the bobcat in time to make use of the handiest shelter, the dried-out hollow limb of a cholla cactus. But it's a doubtful shelter at best. It's a frustration for the bobcat to be so near and yet so far from such delectable prey. The cat's nearness is suddenly just too much for the rodent. Today, the mouse is lucky. And the bad luck of the bobcat gets worse as he becomes careless. The young cougar could kill the bobcat, but his inexperience makes him hesitate too long. This day's encounters are far from over for the young cougar, though. A diamondback rattlesnake, attracted to Saguaro Springs in search of prey, is extremely dangerous. Its bite would almost certainly be fatal to the cougar. Instinct warns the young cougar to back off. Even though the rattler makes the larger predator turn tail, he is himself suddenly in jeopardy. The hawk's hunting has been fruitless until now, but the rattler is fair game. She raises the vulnerable parts of her wings high. If the snake strikes, his deadly fangs will not contact flesh, but only insensitive pinion feathers. As soon as the snake is well pinned under her powerful talons, she destroys the head so it cannot strike her. Once again, as so frequently occurs at Saguaro Springs, a life ends so that another life may continue.
Wildlife encounters in the immediate vicinity of Saguaro Springs were far from over for this day.
In the midst of the afternoon, some collared peccaries, wild desert pigs, have arrived at the pools. The peccaries, however, are not alone. Above them, blending with the rocks, the young cougar, having drunk his fill, now lingers in the area to hunt. The young cougar has never before attacked such animals, but they seem to be easy prey. Yet a vague instinct warns him to consider his moves carefully. Oblivious to their danger, the peccaries enjoy themselves in the cooling water and mud. A slight sound made by the young cougar suddenly alerts the peccaries. Unsure of its source, they start away together, not afraid, but cautious. Their casual departure does not seem odd to the young cougar. It merely encourages him to move in for the attack. But this may be a big mistake. Peccaries are smart when it comes to fighting, and they have very sharp teeth. The aggressiveness of these wild pigs is not what the inexperienced cougar anticipated. The three peccaries seem to be everywhere at once, and they're experts at boxing in an opponent. He's had enough, and the belligerent peccaries realize it at once. The cougar, racing through cholla cactus, ignores the red-tailed hawk. He's come out of one troublesome situation only to find himself in the midst of another. And this one has nothing to do with wild pigs or water holes. In running headlong through the cactus field, he drove a cholla burr deep into his leg. It's painful enough to get any kind of cactus needle stuck in your flesh, but the cholla is especially bad. The spines are barbed, and once in, they're extremely hard to get out. It'll take a lot of time, a lot of figuring, and a lot of work for him to resolve this problem. He'll get them out eventually, but not without first transferring some to his tongue. When they're all finally out, he'll return to the springs for a much-needed drink. By then, the peccaries, who have had their fill at the springs, will long be gone. And now, with action over, the hawk takes her final flight of the day, leaving behind the place where animals often meet, on the trails of Saguaro Springs.
There is always a great deal of activity along the trails which lead to desert water, like that found at Saguaro Springs. The struggle for survival goes on almost unceasingly, and the dramas that unfold are countless. Later on, when the springs dry up and the surface water disappears, those creatures needing water to drink will migrate to other areas, leaving behind those which do not need moisture and those which need only the moisture they can get from desert plants or prey they catch and eat. To all life, water is essential. Man must strive in every way possible to preserve and protect it, for himself and for wildlife, which cannot exist without it. Water is and has always been the most vital substance of the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha has presented Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.